Guys, welcome to a brand new video. This is another video in a very short space of time, so I do understand that. But hopefully we can make some cool progress on this video. So today we've been working with Google Gemini to put some storyboard pieces in place. So we're not just generating concepts, we are actually making some form of story for what these dioramas are going to be once they're fully conceptualized. So in the scene, we've got a bank that we're going to be making, which is based on the real place in Richmond, Canada, like we discussed yesterday. But I want to kind of turn it into like a little bank robbery scene. So we've worked with Google Gemini to generate a range of references. So in the corner here, we've got a whole bank heist scene and this is the aftermath in terms of what's happened. But we're not just looking at the front, we're also looking at the back to basically go, this is a whole crime scene, there's things happened, and we want it to feel authentic, like we said before. But if we continue from there, so we've got all these details going on outside. I think these are going to be really cool. And in terms of the actual props to make, they're not too bad to make. We've got a bunch of smashed glass, and this actually follows in the direction of where this building actually is. So if you look at the concept and you look at the actual angle, it's based on this view. So from above, just looking down really, and you've got this whole area that we can work with to add some cool stuff in there. So that's gonna be really cool. But if we continue from this, so we've been able to generate floor plans from this. So being able to actually generate a floor plan to say, right, we've got a bank, we've got a story going on outside. So what is, how's the bank laid out based on the dimensions from Google Maps and the actual data presented from the model I've made. And it's generated this lovely model here in regards to the cache vaults, the actual things that build this place. So we've actually said, right, well, we want to generate a door. So that entrance, what does it look like from the outside? So we've been able to actually generate an image for the outside crime scene, in which we've got a load of broken glass all over the place, maybe some things going across, maybe they put the windows through, and we want it to fit within the confines of the scene. Goodfellas, there are multiple heists that went on, but we didn't see some of them, and this is the aftermath, which is kind of cool. But then it kind of goes inside, and we've got a range of things going on inside. So they've trashed the place. There's some, I don't know, there's been a gunfight, so all the windows have been smashed and money's all over the floor. They're rushing around, so we want it to feel, I don't know, like a scene out of Heat. That'd be really cool to do. So we've kind of generated that, and they've kind of kicked the door in at the bank manager's office to get the keys, and then they've also broken into the vault. So we want a whole story set piece for how this scene is going to function. I think this is going to be really cool. We've not actually got around to modeling it yet because we're actually modeling all the outsides, but we want to kind of conceptualize what these things are and how this thing works. So we've got the manager's office, we've got a vault in which we've been able to get Google to generate as a crime scene. I think this is really cool. And then on top of that, we've got this whole entire sequence of like the office. What does it say here? So this is like a bank teller employee area where they chill out and have the lunch, and it's been trashed. You can see there's coins all over the floor. There's other bits and bats. It's just trashed. And then on top of that, you've got this bathroom area as well. So we wanted to kind of do, I don't know, a cool story set piece in regards to the bank that I'm making. I think that's really cool. Next, we have been thinking about this store over here. So over here, we've got an entire little scene here with little storefront, and we're thinking, how do we turn that into something? Let's look at it and say, what can we actually turn this into? So we've been able to get Google to generate some concepts for this. So we've gone with Jimmy to go with Jimmy Conway from Goodfellas. I thought, let's actually do something pretty cool with this. So as we see, it actually matches the facade. I'm probably going to get rid of this, but in terms of the outside, it matches the era, and it means that you've got a really cool thing going on with it. We've also added another floor plan in terms of what this environment's going to be consisting of, just to kind of give us an idea of how we go about modeling the inside when we get to it, which has then meant we can generate some concept pieces of like the weapons counter, the I don't know, the boss's office, the entrance to the safe, and also the loading area. I think these were quite important bits to do. I didn't get around to doing a hunting close or these sections yet, but what it means is we've got a visual for how these things are going to potentially look once this scene's done. Next, we've got the big Comet Diner. This one's quite a large one, and this space is for this space around here. There we go. We've got a space down here. Yeah. So modelled it like Google. So on Google Maps, you've got a whole space model like this, and this is multiple shop units. But we are going to look at repurposing this. So originally I did model it with the intention of adding 3 different stores inside of it, but because we have discussed in the previous video that we are going down the road of turning this into a diner, we're going to have to change this around. So this is the concept piece for this building here. I think this is really cool. You've got a nice big window going inside, so that all these windows are going to have to change to 3 windows rather than the multiple shop units. So we've got a nice little thing, and it's generated the name Comet Diner, matching our little facade here on the outside, which is going to be really cool. That's then generated a floor plan based on the Google Maps data and the model I provided, in which we've gone for a generic layout for how a diner's constructed. So we've got the whole coffee urns, kitchen areas, the storage, you know, all these things that come into play. And then we've got a close-up shot of the entrance and how that's going to look. So the idea is it's going to be nice, quick entrance, and you've got access to all the seating areas. That then means you've also got access to the bar area over here, which is going to be quite cool. On top of that, we've got some booth designs to kind of illustrate how this is going to be structured internally, with a load of seating areas. We can reuse a load of the props made for the actual other diner at the top of the other scene we've previously gone into. But then on top of that, we've got some bathroom concepts and some storage there. And then we've also gone on to the actual layout of the kitchen and how these things look within the world. But we've also matched it towards the floor plan for the Comet Diner. I think this is really cool because it means that actually we've been able to conceptualize what this thing is, how it's going to look, how it's going to function, and a sense of space within the world, fitting the theme of Goodfellas. I think that was the important thing to do, and Google Gemini's done a phenomenal job. Next on the list is the Capitol Theatre. So we have moved on to this building over here. So this building is originally an office block with a bunch of shops underneath it, but we've kind of thought 1970s, we want to go for a theatre. My mate Lee's going to really like this one, but the idea is we've got an actual theatre modelled, I don't know, adapted for this time period. We want to basically make it so it's as authentic as possible. So we've got a load of signage and a load of things going on underneath, and then we've got this floor plan for how this theatre is going to be functioned and put together, which is really cool. So this is split on. It's presented two floor plans, a second floor for the apartments and a ground floor. So if we quickly go through the ground floor first, so we've got the main entrance, which is around here. This is the main entrance, matching that aesthetic of how those cinemas used to be, or if you live in America, a theatre. We've then gone on to the lobby, and we've got this whole idea of a ticket booth and the concession stands. In which we're going to have to make a load of candy, but I have made a load of props previous, so we're thinking about adapting those straight in there, which is going to be really cool. And then we've got a wider shot of that scene itself as well, so you've kind of got an idea of how seating is going to work, of how things are going to work within the world. You know, that's the thing, like we want it to feel like you've been there, you know how it works. You've got the posters on the walls, and you feel like it is. And then on top of that, we've got the theatre as well, the actual auditorium where the films are going to play. No idea how I'm going to approach the actual film on the screen. I know that you can actually adapt MP4 files in to Unreal, so potentially there is a potential for actually adding a video on the projector. But I really like this. I think this could really work. We've got paint scattered off the walls, and it kind of really works in terms of how it all works. And then we've got the entrance to the auditorium. So this is the doorway that leads to that scene there, which is really cool. And then added onto that, we've gone upstairs into the top of the auditorium to get to the projector suite to access the projectors. Believe. Oh, we need to also produce a concept for the projector room in there. Let's also have a look. This is the concept for the bathrooms. It's a generic bathroom from around this time period. You can see there's a load of chip paint on the walls, a load of dirty floor tiles. So essentially you get a whole feeling of, I don't know, immersion within the room, in the world. Next on the list, we've got our second floor apartments, in which it's produced a floor plan for how these things are going to work. That's then produced a reference in regards to how we access these buildings. But before that continued, I added on to the fact that the side entrance, which is this part of the building here, we need to figure out how we're getting inside the building. So it's taken my reference, it's taken the Google Maps data, and it's taken the building facade that I've made to generate a nice an idea of how that could all be structured. And then on top of that, going inside, we've got a interior hallway for how, I don't know, a hallway would work within this time period. I think the wallpaper's horrible, but then again, it's that whole I don't know, feeling of the 1970s. Added on to this, we've got a apartment inside, as we've looked at the apartment inside, in which an apartment's going to look. So looking at how, you know, what a living room would look like, what type of TV would you have, what type of sofa would you have, what type of wallpaper, the lamps, like everything's got to be considered, and it's all got to feel authentic, fit into this time period. We've then added a bedroom just as a generic concept for what a bedroom would look like, fit in the floor plan as shown above, and then added onto that we've got a kitchenette, which basically adds the aesthetic of the 1970s with all these little kitchen cabinets. These are going to be quite simple to do, and then you've got the gas hob and the fridge. I really like those fridges from that time period. We then went on to look at the utility room / roof access, just to kind of give us an idea of how we're going to access the roof. And then obviously we need a concept of the roof and how we're going to access all these areas in this place. So what we can actually do with this space up here, I think that's going to be quite an important one. So as we see, we've got a load of things going on, a load of air conditioning units, a TV antenna. We want to make sure it feels grungy, it's part of the world. I think that'd be really cool. So next on his list, we've also got Spin City Records, and this is, I believe, based on this building over here. So recently, last night, I was working on this building. So we are working on this building at the moment, but we've got a nice brand new concept for what this is going to be. It follows the building's facade. We've kind of said, you know, dodgy bootlegs, some records, you know, it's Mafia Central in it. We want to make sure that it's a little bit dodgy podgy. So I've gone for Spin City Records with bootlegs, and that's got us a nice little exterior shot there with some nice materials, lots of wood that fits this time period. That has allowed us to produce a lovely little floor plan that goes alongside this, in which we've got a range of areas we can then work on. So we've then produced a range of concepts for this. So we've got the manager's office, so very wooden. We've got a load of wooden panel walls, a record player, some paperwork on the bench, and it just gives you a whole idea of how that's going to work. And then we've got the authorized personnel area, which gets us to the secret bootleg vault. That's where they do all the dodgy stuff, but also have the really rare materials in there. We've got the bootleg vault, in which they've got a load of stuff inside of it. A bathroom, just because you've got to have a bathroom for employees. Let's have a look. We've got the counter, so we want it to feel like that time period. So we've gone for, I don't know, a load of different types of woods, types of materials, a classic cash register there with a record player. So there's potential for, I don't know, some music to play, but we'll have a nice little set piece. We've got a load of records, so we looked at the whole range of record shops, and I quite like that design really myself. So we've got a whole posters going on with a load of things going on inside, and then we also have the storage and inventory area, in which we've got a range of things going on inside. Moving on to this, and I believe this is our last yes, this is our last concept we're going to show for today, as I know you're all busy. So this large building over here, we had no idea what we wanted to do with it. There's a load of things going on with this building, and I thought to myself, what could we turn it into? So I had an inspiration from Goodfellas, in regards to the entire walking sequence where they're walking through, and you get that whole beautiful visual of the dinner club. But then maybe we also have a second floor to that, so we need to understand what's going on inside of that. So we've kind of gone for the Big Nickel Social Club. Names are subject to change, so if you've got any suggestions for names for places, I'd be very grateful. So these are two render shots. You saw that one on the last video, but this is a new render based on the prefixes for what we wanted to go for in this scene. So as we said, we've got a big signage on the wall for the Big Nickel. We've got a warm and inviting glow. We want people to come in. But we've got some volumetric wet haze reflections. Again, the time of day is really, you know, it's night time, it's wet, it's around winter time, and we want it to fit that time period, and that building works quite nicely in regards to how it all structures together. So let's move on to the floor plan first. So as there's two floors to this, we've got to figure out what we've got to make in terms of the actual bar area. As this ground floor is a bar, we've got to make sure that we fit the things in place for how this is structured. So in this sense, we've gone for an old school kind of vibe in regards to you've got the bar and then you've got all the seating arrangements and all the leather in there as well. We've done a re-render for the actual signage, just because looking at how it's on a corner on an angle, we could actually use this window frame potentially to repurpose that, but I'm unsure yet, just because these, it's based on this angle, so maybe we might repurpose this window. I'm not too sure yet. We've got a kitchen area just because they might be making food inside. We've got a boss's office, just to kind of let them talk and plan. Maybe there might be some maps on there. Maybe they might be planning some heists. We don't know yet. And then we've got a close-up of the shot of the bar. So we've got some nice visuals of what's going on at the bar. And then we've got some booths and the bathroom. So that's quite cool. So we've gone for like a wooden-esque 1970s aesthetic. We've got the key features of it being a quite well off place in regards to the type of woods being used. It's quite varnished alongside the lampshades and the mirrors. I think that's quite cool. We've also done another shot there of the club, but we're unsure what we're going to go for yet, but we've got some actual visuals to work with. So that's the ground floor in terms of the actual club. So in sense, it could be if it were a game, it could be a player hub, it could be a range of things. But then if we move onwards, we've got this MasterCard room upstairs in regards to how this all works. So we've got the MasterCard room. This is a second floor plan in regards to how this building is going to be structured. So we're thinking casino. We've got a private illicit casino because maybe the casinos are illegal outside. And then we've then gone on to say, right, well, how's this going to be structured? Well, first off, we've got this waiting area. We've got some nice leather chairs. It's a bit more higher end than downstairs. Then we've got his tables going on. We've got a range of rooms. We've got the VIP room in which we've got really high end. A secondary VIP room for high stakes in which we've got nice wooden clad walls, nice varnish to it, and then we've moved on to the high roller lounge in which we've got the really classy wallpaper on the walls. We've gone for a similar type of toilet to downstairs, so a similar type of bathrooms downstairs, so nice sinks, just to kind of give you the idea of the place. This is the entrance, so we've got a camera to make sure that no people that shouldn't be there are there, because it's all to do with mobsters and the types of people that are going to get in. Then we've got the main lobby, the main room for the types of tables we've got in there. And then we've also got the bank teller, just to process the chips and make sure that the money's correct. And finally, the security room. So we've produced a range of concepts and quite happy with it overall. I think it gives us an overall visual for what this environment's going to be down the line. There's still a ton of work to do, but hope you really like with what we've gone for. And we'll see you soon. See you later.